Sania Khan was 29 years old. She was a photographer, a friend, a daughter, and she was also a woman trying to rebuild her life after a painful marriage. Like a lot of us do now, she turned to social media to tell her story. But what started as honest TikToks about divorce and healing ended in a murder that shocked South Asian women all over the world. Sania grew up in Tennessee in a Pakistani-American Muslim family. People who knew her say she was warm, funny, and creative. She loved taking pictures and documenting other people's happiest moments, weddings, engagements, celebrations. Ironically, behind the scenes, her own marriage was falling apart. In 2021, Sania married a man named Raheel Ahmed. On paper, it looked like a good match. Same cultural background, similar values, the kind of pairing that families often encourage. But almost as soon as the wedding glow faded, Sania began to feel that something was wrong. According to her friends and later reporting, the relationship became controlling and emotionally draining. Sania described feeling isolated, criticized, and stuck. And on top of that, she felt pressure from community expectations that said divorce was shameful, especially for a South Asian Muslim woman. By early 2022, she made a decision many women struggle to make. She left. Sania moved to Chicago to start over and filed for divorce. This is where TikTok comes in. Instead of keeping everything silent, she began posting short videos talking openly about what she was going through, the stigma of leaving a marriage, the judgment she faced, and the relief she felt in choosing herself. In one video, she said that in South Asian communities, you're often told that a divorced woman has failed or brought shame. She pushed back against that idea, saying divorce can be a form of freedom, not failure. Those TikToks resonated with thousands of women, especially those who saw their own stories in hers. But not everyone was supportive. Some commenters criticized her for speaking so publicly. Others accused her of exaggerating or disrespecting her culture. And most importantly, her ex-husband was watching. By summer 2022, Sania was planning another big step. She wanted to leave Chicago and move back closer to her family to fully restart her life. Friends said she was packing her apartment and making plans for a future where she could work, travel, and heal, away from the constant stress of the marriage. On July 18, 2022, Raheel Ahmed traveled from his home in Georgia to Chicago, a journey of more than 700 miles. According to police, he had been reported missing by his family, who were worried about his mental state. He told them he was going to save his marriage. What happened next turned Sania's apartment into a crime scene. That day, Chicago police went to carry out a welfare check after receiving a call from authorities in another state who were concerned about his disappearance. When officers arrived at the building, they heard a gunshot. After forcing entry, they found Sania near the front door with a gunshot wound and Raheel in a bedroom, also shot, with a gun beside him. Investigators later concluded that he had killed her and then died by suicide. Just like that, a woman who had been using TikTok to talk about survival and second chances became the victim of a murder-suicide. News of Sania's death spread quickly, especially online. Many people first heard about it through TikTok and Instagram slideshows that used her own videos and photos to tell the story. For divorced South Asian women, the story hit particularly hard. Some said that watching Sania felt like seeing what could happen to them for daring to leave or speak out. Sania's family were left not only with grief, but with anger at how the system had failed her. In a later lawsuit, her mother accused authorities of not doing enough during the welfare check and argued that better coordination might have saved her daughter's life. She also criticized how much responsibility was placed on Sania to stay silent, instead of on the person who couldn't accept the divorce. Her case has since been featured in a documentary series that explores how crimes linked to social media spread and affect real people. The episode uses her own TikTok clips alongside interviews and reconstructions to show the contrast between her hopeful online presence and the danger she faced in real life. Sania's story forces us to ask some uncomfortable questions. First, about control and entitlement. This wasn't something that happened in a single moment. Reports suggest he struggled with the divorce, traveled a long distance to confront her, and brought a weapon into that situation. That journey took time. Time to think, time to stop, time to choose differently. But instead, he chose violence. Second, about culture and silence. Sania repeatedly spoke about how, in her community, divorce, especially for women, is often treated as shameful. Instead of support, many women face blame. That pressure can trap people in unhealthy or unsafe situations, because leaving means risking judgment from the very people they rely on. Third, about social media and safety. Did speaking out make her more vulnerable? It's complicated. Her videos gave her support and helped others feel seen. But being open about a painful relationship while the other person is still watching can increase risk, especially if that person is controlling or unstable. What's important to remember is this: the problem isn't that she spoke out. The problem is that someone chose to respond with violence. And finally, there's the way we consume stories like this. Some people genuinely want to understand and learn. Others treat it like content, something to watch, share, and move on from. But behind every headline is a real person, with a life that mattered beyond how it ended. Sania Khan was not just a case. She was a woman who chose herself, who spoke up when silence would have been easier, and who reminded others that leaving is not failure. Her story is tragic, but it's also a call to do better, as communities, as systems, and as individuals. To support people instead of shaming them, to take warning signs seriously, and to remember the human being behind the story. What do you think Sania's case says about speaking out online? Do you believe it makes people safer or more vulnerable? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please don't forget to like, share, and follow.